Tired of playing Omen all day? Wish Brimstone or Viper were stronger agents? Well, today I'm excited to share with you why Astra might just be the new Premier Control agent. What's going on, ProGuides fam? I'm Tia, and today we're going headfirst into this new insane agent. We really believe she's going to shake up the Valorant meta, so without further ado, this is 10 tips that you can use to dominate with Astra. Before we hop in, I want to let you guys know we have a new Valorant course on our website written by the pro Valorant player Sam on Team Dignitas. Sam is known for having one of the greatest strategic and analytical minds in esports. In this course, he covers Valorant fundamentals ranging from aim and movement to defaulting and round development. You'll finish this course with sharpened game knowledge, secrets from pro play, and the right mindset to improve. Make sure when you purchase anything on our website to use the promo code FPS25 for a discount on anything you buy. Although Astra has the capability to throw down her stars on the fly or reactively, I believe the true value you will find is when you have your stars already set up early. With 5 total stars available per round, you have the ability to pick and choose between any of the utility options that are within her kit. That means you can activate 5 smokes, 5 gravity wells, or even 5 Nova pulses if you choose to do so. So why would placing stars early even be worth it? Well, firstly, it does take some time to go into your astral form and place down stars. But the main reason is so that you're harder to read. For example, if you put all 5 down at the start, especially if you spread your stars out, the opponent won't easily read where you're pressuring on the attack side and where you're holding on the defender side. This gives her the flexibility to change her behavior drastically throughout each round, and players who understand this about her kit will find themselves mind-gaming the enemy team harder than any other agent in the game. This is especially important on the attacker side, because if you only throw your stars where you and your team plan to go, the enemy will communicate that your stars are on their site and rotate very early. For example, placing 2 stars on A and 2 on B won't make it super obvious where you intend to go. If you do get access to one of the sites, you can always recapture your unused stars and reuse them after 12 seconds. Because your smokes are on a 14-second refresh cooldown, you pretty much have them up as long as you have stars left. I really don't see this feature staying like this forever, as players will eventually learn how to abuse this, especially at a high level. Before we get into the rest of the tips for the new agent Astra, we have our question of the day. What do you guys think about the changes to the rank system this act? Personally, I don't see these changes as particularly impactful and would honestly like them to reset ranks a little harder. However, I do think the change to let lower ranks play with larger distributions of ranks is a pleasant change. This will let more casual players to queue up with more of their friends, as the rank disparity is less restrictive. Overall, these changes are quite minor, and Riot is probably waiting to do something massive with ranked in the start of the next episode, but what do you guys think? Let us know in the comments down below. This part of her kit will be a huge part of the potential outplays you can push with Astra. Whenever you recall a star, it refreshes after 12 seconds. That means you can put down 5 stars, recall all 5, and you'll have them all back within 12 seconds. If that didn't sound good enough, when you recall each star, it pops a free smoke for a short duration. Although this may seem like nothing at first, you can use this to fake pressure, push through them fast, cross over, creep up into unexpected spots, etc. There's a lot of potential with just the recall aspect in her kit, and I can't wait to see how other mechanics in her kit will be expanded upon. To extend on the concept of recalling your stars, a play that I think will become very popular is faking or committing to crossing while you recall one of your stars. For example, if you're playing around the left side of C site on Haven, recalling a star at the cross area will allow you to potentially cross over for free. Since you'll have your star back up in 12 seconds, there's fairly low risk behind making these types of recall plays. If you've punished an opponent by doing this play, now you can recall that same start in future rounds and potentially not cross. This isn't the only place on Haven you can try this same type of play. A main cross can also work, and this isn't just tied down to Haven alone. You can bet that this will find value in every other map as well. There also isn't any distinct animation difference between a regular smoke activation and a star recall smoke. The only difference is the duration of the smoke. Off the initial impression, most enemies will likely expect the smoke to be normal until it fades. These types of mind games are just the tip of the iceberg, as we'll see more and more new unique ways to fake out opponents with Astra. Astra's ultimate is quite the juicy one. The best way to describe her ult is that it is a Viper wall that is global, heavily dampened sounds, and can't be shot through. The main takeaway for this tip is to understand how impactful the wall blocking shots can be. So for 20 seconds, you won't be able to land shots through this wall. This will become especially useful on the defender side for retaking A site when the spike has been planted. Imagine when enemies plant for C long on Haven. You place your ultimate to cover C long, and enemies are forced to use utility through the wall and/or push through to stop the defuse. This will become a common strategy that will force players who rely on playing post plants like this a lot to adapt to Astra's ultimate. Again, this type of retake ultimate can be used on pretty much any site and all maps if done correctly. Unlike something like Killjoy ultimate, which is just as effective when used for retakes, Astra's wall can't be destroyed. This means a well-placed one will force you to play around it in a much more oppressive way than even Killjoy's ultimate in some scenarios. On the flip side, you can start ripping Astra's ultimate on the attacker side in many ways. One that I think will work especially well is if you can find those lineups that cover or split up all bomb sites. This gives you the flexibility of not making it obvious where you may be going. Couple this with the fact that it cuts off vision and cuts noise significantly, it will be difficult to tell what's going on for the defenders if they don't have forward positioning or info to help deduce which site you'll end up hitting. Any wall similar to this one on Haven can be great because you're splitting pretty much each site in half horizontally. The enemy players will have to directly push past the wall to obtain info or punish you, which can be quite risky for them. The only downside to this wall will be if they stack or guess correctly where you're going and do something like flash through the wall at a good timing. This is something that can make your ultimate do more harm than good, but most likely won't happen often. Keep in mind that you aren't forced to use each of these tips one at a time. There are ways you can flow or add them together to create even more unique plays. With that said, one general tip is to pick at least one point to gravity well or nova when pressuring a site. Something like default on C or A Haven can be a real godsend for your teammates to easily push onto site. Obviously, if your teammates use their utility correctly, then you might not have to use it like this, but more often than not, why not be safe than sorry? Astra is definitely a highly supportive agent, so look to make use of your stars not just for yourself. This tip is a general one, but is highly effective even if you don't play Astra but intend on playing any of the other controllers. There are many reasons why you'd want to default a smoke at the start of the round, but the easiest way to understand it is for two main reasons. Firstly, it allows you to take advantage of the refresh capabilities of your smoke with Astra, and secondly, it allows you to mix up your behavior around that smoke. A common example of this is by smoking top of C long on Haven when you're attacking. Doing this every round will make it hard to tell if you're directly holding your smoke, grabbing orb, pressuring mid, or pressuring A. When you don't default a smoke like this, the enemy can push down C easier, and it will be much easier for them to read what you and your team are doing on the map. If you're not comfortable committing a default smoke, then at the very least you'll want to commit one or two recall smokes to potentially pressure the crossover or push into C cubby. I can't stress how much freedom Astra can potentially find, but you must think about these ahead of time or else you'll be caught with your pants down sitting in your astral form. The key is proactive play with this agent, and defaulting one smoke every round is a simple yet effective way. Tip number 8 plays off of our last tip. If you default a smoke off the start of the round but never hold it directly or push through it ever, enemies won't respect it and you'll end up wasting your smoke. You want to first threaten that you will do something directly around it before you can think about pressuring other areas or throwing fakes. You can always ask your teammates to do something around your smoke, but it's best that you develop this habit because your teammates can be quite unpredictable in ranked. Only you can control your own actions, and that's exactly what you want when trying to climb. I see many players who don't understand this concept and lose a lot of value when playing controller agents. This won't be any different with Astra. Bonus points if you stack another star with your smoke to either Gravity Well or Nova inside the smoke. You can easily find tags or kills if they are sitting in your smoke, and you activate either while shooting through the smoke. From first impressions, it seems that Astra's Gravity Well and Nova Pulse are best used in conjunction together. The reason why is because each of these alone won't typically stun an enemy going through it, as it's fairly easy to run out of it in time. However, if you stack 2 stars in relatively close proximity, you can activate the Gravity Well to pull enemies closer and follow up with the Nova Pulse or Stun to better guarantee the CC. This combination will be particularly scary when dealing with attackers pushing into choke points, as they might bump or block each other from moving out of your stun. This can easily set you up to find multiple kills with ease. Who said Astra can't get those kills? I first saw this concept being used while Shroud was testing Astra out in custom games. The idea is that you can put down multiple stars, which can allow you to push areas while still being able to use them afterwards. This seems especially useful for playing post-plant on the attacker side.
For example, if you're able to run onto site with relative ease using this strategy, you'll still have your stars to play the time out or stall for your team. You can throw a few on the bomb itself and the rest to maybe stall out the rotators by smoking off the chokes. Once you hear the enemies tap the bomb, you activate your Nova or Gravity first, and then whatever you have left afterwards. In a way, Astra isn't only just a strong controller. She also has the ability to stall, like some of the Sentinels. I can't wait to learn more about Astra, and you guys will be the first to know if more insane tech gets discovered in the near future.
Astra will no doubt be a very polarizing agent in the upcoming months. She's not going to be an easy agent to learn by any means, but if you want to learn her, we think she'll be worth it. Just make sure to mix in aggressive plays, even if her abilities seem more passive. And if you enjoyed the video, remember to leave a like and sub to the channel. We've got loads more Valorant content coming out, so stay tuned. That's it for the video. Best of luck trying out Astra, and I'll see you later, ProGuides fam.